Hey everybody, so what does it mean to be neuroaffirming? Well, before we can dive into today's topic on 5 ways to become more neuroaffirming, there are a few other keywords and definitions that I need you guys to understand. The first definition is neurotypical. Neurotypical refers to people whose neurological development aligns with societal norms. So basically, in other words, that just means that it refers to people the way that their brain develops is basically what society considers as normal. The second term that I need you to understand is neurodivergent. Neurodivergent is a term used to describe people whose neurological development is different from societal norms. So neurodivergent individuals may be individuals who may have ADHD or autism, and basically they are referred to as neurodivergent because their brain is uniquely wired. The third definition that I need you to understand is neurodiversity. Neurodiversity is the natural variation in human brains and how people think. Neurodiversity recognizes that conditions such as autism or ADHD, dyslexia, are simply different and not necessarily a disorder or a deficit. So now that you understand those 3 key words, let's get back to what is neuroaffirming. Neuroaffirming means that you are basically recognizing that individuals with neurodivergent brains are not broken or are not wrong. In fact, individuals who have neurodivergent brains actually need to be supported and respected just as they are. So tip number 1 for becoming more neuroaffirming is to change your mindset and stop believing that an individual who has a different way of processing information needs to be cured or fixed. So instead of trying to change or fix this individual's traits, we celebrate their differences, we provide them the supports that are needed, and we make sure to seek out ways to improve our environment and our world so that it supports individuals who are neurodivergent so that they can thrive as well. Remember, it is not our job to force individuals who have a unique way of thinking or their brains are uniquely wired. It is not our job to force them into more of a neurotypical mold. Tip number 2 for becoming more neuroaffirming is respecting the sensory needs of individuals who may be more neurodivergent. So some individuals may be overwhelmed easily, so loud noises or bright lights or different textures may bother them, whereas other individuals may seek out more sensory input. So it's our job to recognize that individuals have all different types of sensory needs, and it's our job to respect that. So if you see someone out and about with noise canceling headphones on or engaging with a fidget tool or needing a lot of sensory breaks, it's not our job to judge them or make fun of them or talk about them. It's our job to understand that these are supports that they need in order to self-regulate, self-soothe, and to truly just learn about their bodies and their environment. Tip number 3 for becoming more neuroaffirming is to be mindful of the language that you use. So language plays a huge role in our job as supporting individuals who are unique, supporting individuals who may be neurodivergent. So we want to be sure that we are not saying anything that's going to cause harm or be offensive to anybody. So terms that I've heard or phrases that I've heard such as, oh, well, you don't look autistic, or you don't act autistic, or wow, you have autism, you're really high functioning. Those things can actually be very offensive to an individual who may have autism or who is neurodivergent. So instead of using phrases like this, we need to just use more positive language and be more affirming to them. Now, one thing that I do want to remind you of, though, is we are all learning, right? This is a learning process. And so not everybody knows the proper phrase or the proper terminology or the proper words to use. So one thing that I cannot stand is if I go online and I see someone bashing somebody else because they didn't say something correctly. Because of course there are some people that are just mean and ignorant out there, but there are individuals who innocently just don't know the correct terminology to use. So it's not your job to bash them or be disrespectful or just be mean to them. It's your job to politely inform them, politely educate them on the correct phrase to use or the correct terminology to use. Now, remember, this is all a learning process, and even us as therapists, as professionals, we are constantly learning and constantly growing. Even the way we do therapy these days, even the way we engage and interact with individuals who are neurodivergent is constantly and rapidly changing. And so it's not like one person knows one answer and now the whole world should know the correct way to go about things. It is a gradual, slow process that some people may know quicker than others and some people may not know at all. So just be mindful when you are coming across individuals who may use the words they're not supposed to use, or they may refer to a person in a way that could be offensive to them. Don't be so quick to bash them because maybe they just don't know. The fourth way of being more neuroaffirming is allowing individuals who are neurodivergent to have as much autonomy and independence as possible. So allow such individuals to have space to make their own choices. For example, allow them to choose their own clothing. Allow them to choose what sensory supports they need. It's not our job to assume what they need or what is going to be best for them. Tip number 5 into becoming more neuroaffirming is to support different behaviors that you may see or observe. So individuals who are neurodivergent, such as individuals with autism, may engage in behaviors such as like stimming behaviors, right? So you may see individuals flapping their hands or rocking back and forth or repeating words or sounds over and over again. Remember that these are all common ways that neurodivergent individuals may use in order to help them self-regulate. They may be doing this to self-soothe. They may be seeking or getting the sensory input that they need, or it may help them to reduce some anxiety or overwhelm that they're feeling. So remember that becoming more neuroaffirming basically means that we are not trying to suppress another individual's traits. We're not trying to change their traits. It's our job to celebrate their differences and provide them with the supports as needed. It's our job to support them for who they are, and it's our job to try to make this world more understanding. So I hope this video was helpful in starting you on your journey into becoming more neuroaffirming. And if you want to learn more information about unique behaviors or different behaviors that individuals with autism may be engaging in and how you can support that, make sure you watch this next video. Until next time, guys, bye.